Good morning, everyone. Oh, not morning where you're at? That's okay, because you can have eggs for breakfast, lunch, or dinner. Welcome to episode 78 of Three Eggs Are Better Than One. I am Brad Stanton, along with fellow eggs Brian Haremza and Matt M. I want to thank all of you for listening last week. We had twin movies, twin production companies, twin shows, twinning for everyone. It was a lot of fun. If it's your first time listening to the show, we do something called Sunny Side Up. It's our good news of the week. And this week, we're going to send it over to Matt.
If it's your first time listening, you might be expecting me to share good news, but sometimes I just share whatever I want. One of these things is bound to be good news, though. Have you guys seen on the internet some of these interesting, clever, hilarious fantasy football punishments that have been out there? Because
I have not.
there has been some really great stuff lately. So, for those who may not know, people of course play fantasy sports, and a lot of leagues, the person who comes in last, there's a predetermined punishment or penalty, and they could be pretty harsh or funny or embarrassing. So this one kid, they made him go to Major League Baseball game and sit by himself in the upper deck where it was, the crowd was empty, and he spelled out in giant letters on each chair around him, "I stink at fantasy football." And he had to sit there by himself alone all game with no beer and no phone. So of course he was on TV a lot because it was very noticeable and very hilarious. I'm surprised you didn't see that.
No, I don't know why.
So funny.
Hmm.
And this other one, just from that was like a couple weeks ago. This one I saw this week is this guy had to go trick or treating in June dressed as Harry Potter, and he couldn't be done trick or treating until he came back with 10 pieces of candy. So he would ring people's doorbell and they'd be like, "You're a little early." And he'd be like, "Yeah, I'm going to miss it this year, so I'm just trying to get ahead." Which is such a
Nice.
great line. What a great line. Funny stuff. I love when people get really creative like that. Like, I couldn't have thought of those things. Moving on. I saw that there's this movie being made now. It's called This Is How the World Ends. I don't know anything about it, who made it, who's making it, who's in it, but I do know that it is being released exclusively, Bryant, on VHS.
Yes,
Do you have an active VCR in your household?
I do.
Of course
Yes.
you do.
You're
You're a
gonna
tape
have
player.
we might have to chip in for the purchase of this when this gets released this year. And you might have to watch it and tell us about it because I'm not going to be watching the direct to VHS
What
release.
is the what's the upside of this?
I mean, it sounds like a publicity stunt to me, right? We
Yeah,
wouldn't have
100%.
might not have known about it otherwise, and now our 25 listeners might know as well. Also, wanted to mention a show I watched on HBO. Maybe you guys saw it or watched it. It's a documentary series called The Many Lives of Benjamin Kyle. Did you guys see that?
No.
No.
So this story dates back a long time, and I watched what was a short documentary a long time ago, made by like a film student about this guy. And supposedly, this guy who was like in his 50s or 60s woke up outside a Burger King, naked and beaten and bloodied, and beaten so bad that he had no memory. This is in real life. And the story, the documentary, was about how because he had no identification, there was no record, fingerprints, nothing, teeth. They couldn't figure out who he was. He really didn't exist in the eyes of the government. He didn't have a social security number. He couldn't get a job. He couldn't get a lease. It was this very elaborate problem that had no solution. He had like a short list of some really vague memories. So I watched this thing a long time ago. Suddenly on HBO, many years later, there's this docu-series that comes out about him, and I'm like, oh my God, they're gonna like revisit this story. Let's get into it. Oh, it is not what you think. Let's put it that way. Everything that I just recapped from the original documentary is covered in the show. So, they don't leave you out if didn't know the original story, but I recommend it. Criticism could have been a 90-minute documentary, didn't have to be 4 episodes like they like to drag these things out, but very fascinating. It's called The Many Lives of Benjamin Kyle. And also interesting is he spells his name.
Oh boy.
There it is.
There it is. Benjamin, Benjaman, which is unusual, which I thought, they thought that would maybe help in, because he did sort of try to remember, he did believe that to be his first name. The last name they made up, but he thought that was his first name. And because it's unusually spelled, they thought that would have helped them locate his history. And that's just not really what happened. Let me attach one quick thing to that. There's another documentary film out there called Unforgettable, which is probably at least 10 years old now. Also fascinating and almost kind of the opposite. It's about this guy, and there's like a handful of people on the planet with this condition. It's called hyperthymesia, where they have this incredible detailed memory about their own life. And other than that, they're just very normal people. So you could say October 2nd, 1998, and they would go, oh, that was a Tuesday. It rained in the morning. The Yankees played the Orioles. They lost 5-2. Mattingly homered. Like anything that they remember happening on that day, it comes to them just the way that we might remember something from 2 seconds ago. And it's just
It's
a
amazing.
natural reflex.
Hmm.
Great movie. I'll stop now. Thank you very much.
Just so everybody knows, the Spurs or the Knicks are up 2-1 on the Spurs, and the game is tonight as we record. So we're going to limit the jokes and
No.
a lot of the extra things we do on this show to appease Matt. We
Yeah,
started
we got
18 minutes early. Actually,
This
ended up
is
being 60 minutes
bullshit.
because Bryant had to choke down his food. He actually had to use the bathroom right away.
it
And
did.
no, we're kidding, guys. We don't care. But anyway, my good news. So I don't know if it's really good news, but I was going to the gym yesterday and I'm headed into the locker room and a guy comes charging at me. He's like, gives me the nod and he comes charging at me. And I'm like, hey, what's up? And he goes, hey, I saw you on TV. I'm like, what? I'm thinking, oh my gosh, this guy actually watched the podcast? He watched the podcast? No, he saw my freaking 2.5 second blurb of my dealership that was on like local commercial. I'm not a celebrity, but it was, I guess, nice to be noticed because I was on TV for a couple seconds. I think I talked about it on this show,
You
but he
did.
was really excited that he could tell me about this. And then we had talked and we introduced ourselves and everything like that. And I signed an autograph.
Whoa. So many things here. So
Look at this.
you did a stop and chat.
Yeah, stop and chat. We never want to do a
First,
stop and chat.
first autograph. I mean, that is a milestone. How do we see this? Is it on YouTube?
It is on YouTube.
Oh,
I could send you guys. It is literally a second and a half.
yeah.
Yeah, but still.
Maybe
You
not
knew it was going to
literally,
be cut down.
but like it was during the Olympics is when it was. It was during the Olympics, and yeah, I could
So you're part of the Olympic coverage, is what we're saying here.
Olympic Cup coverage locally, regionally, or whatever you want to call it. Matt, it might even have been in your area. Who knows? But it definitely, Bryant, was not in your area.
Why would
But
he
Definitely
yes,
was not mine. No.
Why would he want an autograph?
I don't know, but you know what? I did it, and
You're trying to get
look at
in on the ground floor there.
just try. I'm going to give more autographs to come. It's tough walking around sometimes. So that's my sunny side up. Just celebrity recognition, and maybe it'll just further my career. So that's it for me. Bryant, what do you got?
For me, it is, I don't want to say it's giving things up, but it's cleaning up a little bit. I'm not going to say we're hoarders in any sense of the imagination, but we have a lot of stuff here, Sue and I. And we decided when we got back from our trip, we wanted to try to clean up a little bit. And there's a couple rooms in our house that I'm not saying they're full, but there's just a lot of random things in there. Sunny Side Up is finally getting the motivation to actually do something about it and actually clean and get rid of some things, donate some things, give some things away, and actually, I'm not gonna say make it look better, but make it look better around here. We're trying, we're doing our best, but when you have 19 different figurines of a cat, what do you need all of them for? You don't. So we got rid of two. Hopefully some more come later, but that's a great start in our opinion. So Sunny Side Up is making progress, not being hoarders, I guess. I don't know.
Well,
See, now you're actually doing something.
Yeah. Yep.
What do you
Trying
got,
to be an
Matt?
adult.
well, don't throw away the VCR.
No, of
We're
course not.
gonna
That's
need we're
mine.
gonna need that.
Mm-hmm. Of
Be funny
course.
if they gave Brad a copy of his commercial on VHS.
Oh, that'd be great.
Um, and I forgot the other thing I was gonna say.
Well, maybe check eBay to see what these things are worth before you start throwing stuff away.
That's actually what we're doing. One of Sue's friends has an eBay account, and we're using her to help us kind of get going and selling some stuff. Trying to use eBay, make a little money off this as well, because Sue loves antique shopping. So naturally, a lot of stuff we have comes from antique stores. So you never know.
Yeah, you never do know. If someone wants to pay for something from you and they seem a little excited about it, go inside and take a deep breath and check eBay real quick.
Exactly.
All right, guys, thanks. That was all good, very good news. Well, which brings us to hard boiled. And I didn't know what I was going to have because peek behind the curtain, like we said, we're only recording this a few days apart. Well, I got something because I went and got my glasses yesterday, my brand new glasses. These are not them. Now, remember what they said, that I didn't need them for distance anymore, just for reading. Well, first of all, this is a major pain in the ass when I get them because I'm taking them off, I'm putting them on, I'm taking them off, I'm putting them on. Not really interested in that, but I know that's the way of the world with people that just need them to read. Well, I go into work today and I sit down in front of my computer. Everything's blurry. I can't see the screen. So this is absolute bullshit. So my sunny side up from a couple of weeks ago or a month ago, or whatever it is bullshit. I still have some things I can't see. I can see great about 200 feet away. I can read any like a small print on a billboard, but that middle range, like to see the screen of my desktop computer, not good. So I called them up and I laid into them, man. I laid into them good. And they try to make an excuse like, oh, if we would have known that you use a computer, then maybe we would have. I'm like, what, excuse me? Who the hell doesn't use a computer? Who doesn't need to see 5 feet in front of them or 2 feet in front of them or a foot in front of them? Who doesn't need to see that? So I have to go in tomorrow and they're going to redo everything. And they're going to charge me just for the difference between the price of the regular reading glasses and the progressive. So back to normal, which is fine. I wasn't really keen on not wearing glasses. It's kind of my look. And I know that it was going to offend the both of you if I didn't have them on. So that was that. But major pain in the ass. And also just a complete lie. Just a complete lie. Yes, just because I can read something from far away doesn't mean anything about a foot in front of me. So I just so you know, as I wear these, I see everything just fine. I can read everything on Bryant's screen, all those ridiculous posters and Bret Hart memorabilia and all this nonsense. And of course, you got the bridge over there in San Francisco is very nice. But no, I had trouble and I was very angry and I have a little bit of a headache too. So these are the old glasses.
First of all, the only one who
like-
had a problem with this was Matt. Matt was the only one who had a problem with no glasses. You could go with it. We don't care.
Yeah, I don't know, dude. I don't know.
I don't like it.
It's very offensive.
See? It's Matt.
Like
it's all Matt.
Yeah, it looks like your head's naked. It's no good. It's like that meme joke. That's like airlines are always like, "Oh, I didn't realize everybody was going to bring a bag. Didn't realize they used a computer in 2026."
Just makes me think I shouldn't be using these people at all. I understood what you said about the second opinion, Matt. I don't really have time for all this. You know what I mean?
Well, it's your vision. You kind of need to.
Well, I thought they are doctors. They have a medical degree. It's up on the wall. I just don't understand. Second thing, I did go to that play. I talked to you guys. I went to a play, and I always have a little bit of hard boiled at the play. So this is a total chick flick play. It's called Real Women Have Curves. It's about the Latino women that kind of work in like a sweatshop, kind of like making dresses for richer women, and like some of them are illegal, some of them aren't, but they're all curvy, full figured women, and whatever. It's nothing I would see on my own at all. But you take your wife, she enjoys it. But I'm going to tell you this much right now: it was not a hard story to follow. Okay, I mean, like there wasn't these people in front of me. She needed everything explained to her the entire time. This was not a hard story to follow. This is up there with like Three Little Pigs. It's very easy. There's I don't understand. This isn't really a place where you get drunk. But yeah, and they can't whisper. Nobody here can whisper because there's an age difference. And when you get to be a certain age, whispering just goes out the window and you have to yell. And this has happened several times. And I'm just glad I'm on medication.
Can't leave your house.
Oh man. It was not a hard story to follow. I mean, anybody could have followed it. But anyway, hard boiled. Which brings us to egg whites, Matt, because I gave everybody layups this week. Egg whites is follow-ups. That's why I'm surprised you had so much in the
Follow-ups.
beginning.
Follow-ups or callbacks. Well, let's call back to last week. Zanzibar is a
Yes.
semi-autonomous region of Tanzania, which is an island off the coast of Africa. I did not know that. Continuing on, I think we talked about how we were watching Euphoria. The season 3 ended, which I'm guessing will be the complete end of the series in its entirety. I
Yes,
don't know
definitely.
what to think about it, but my number one takeaway was the whole season was trying to rip off Quentin Tarantino. So very many things that happened in the plot, the way scenes were blocked out, specific things that happened, even the way the title card came on screen and the music. It was this guy was just trying to, you know, honor Tarantino in some way, which I guess is not the worst thing in the world, but that's what I picked up. There's been many times on the show when I have listed celebrities with unusual names. How about this monster of a celebrity? And yeah, there's probably people out there with this name, but not a lot. Harrison Ford. I mean, I don't really know people. Harrison as a last name, sure, but Harrison as a first name, which is his given name. I mean, I don't
You
know
want
anyone
you
with
want to
that.
hear something? I got two Harrisons
Two?
that worked in the as the techs.
Do they go by Harry?
No, they went by Harrison, and it's kind of a new name though. And then what I'll give you for sure is Harrison Ford's time. Definitely not. Definitely a new name,
Right.
but it's something like you know how the names are now.
Yeah, I
But I
do.
like it.
You do. All right, here's the meat of the topic here. How about an ultimate callback situation? Have you ever heard of the HBO comedy series called The Comeback?
Yeah.
So it stars Lisa Kudrow, and it's a satirical look inside the TV industry. The first season aired in 2005, so 21 years ago, right after Friends ended. So, you know, she's still at the peak of her success there. And she played, I actually watched this first season, and she played somebody similar to her own career who had appeared on a sitcom
Hmm.
that was nowhere near as successful as Friends. It ended, and now she was trying to make a comeback, and that was the name of the reality show they were making, The Comeback. And it was that awkward type of comedy. Well, 9 years later, 9 years later in 2014, season 2 of The Comeback, which is very comebacky and
Yeah.
very egg whitey, which I did not watch, but it looked like the her character was trying to pitch a pilot to a reality TV producer, and that was the plot of that season. And she had a camera crew following her around on that adventure. And just recently, here in 2026, the third and final season of The Comeback, which again I did not watch, apparently was about her starring in a sitcom that was completely written by AI, which is a funny concept because, you know, 20 years ago in 2005, that would have not been on the table. Even in 2014, that would not have been on the table as a plot line. But what about this show? Almost 10 years apart between seasons. That's the ultimate callback right there.
Yeah. That's really good and a really good use of the title.
Really good
Uh,
use of the title, and you know, kudos to them. I'm not sure it's the best show or the most popular,
mm-mm.
but I think it was an achievement in its concept.
Definitely. Kudros to them.
Ah,
Oh,
there it is.
oh, we'll
There it is.
edit that out.
All done?
Yeah, it was like four things.
No, it's very nice.
It's good.
Very nice. Which brings us to Soft Boiled, which is our song of the week, or as Matt will have 4 or 5 songs and an old band with maybe go ahead. Who do we got? Matt?
How do I go first? I just went.
Yeah,
Should
it's
be
a
me.
mistake. Mistake on my end, but it happened.
It happens. Oh, I wasn't saying now I have to scroll through my notes. Usually I have scrolling
We can
time.
make the change. It's not
Usually
a
I have
problem.
usually I have scrolling time.
Would you like to go and Brian to go
No, I
instead?
got it. I
Okay,
got
great.
it.
All
So now
So
we
right.
talked.
recently released music from Violet Grohl. Yes, that is the daughter of Dave Grohl from Foo Fighters and Nirvana
Oh,
fame.
I thought you said roll. I was thinking Jelly's daughter.
Violet Grohl. She is 20 years old. She just put out her first album and is doing a tour. The album is called Be Sweet to Me, and it is like alt rock music, with a female vocalist. I almost hate to put it this way, but it is very reminiscent of Courtney Love and Hole, which was, a female driven grunge band that was popular during the same period of time as Nirvana, of course. So it's got that element to it. I mean, her father was in Nirvana, so that's no surprise that she might sound like bands of that age. But it's pretty impressive for a debut for a 20-year-old. And according to Dave, she went out on her own, did all the music herself, made the deals herself. She didn't lean on nepotism, which I'm sure she could have easily gotten with her father being a major rock star. Um, and she has performed with Foo Fighters, of course, so she's got some stage experience and all that. But I'm very happy for her, and it's good music. It may not be at the top of my list to listen to, but I'm very impressed by it.
Yeah, all right, I'm interested. Very good, Matt. So what corny ass song am I going to talk about? Because I can't just do what you guys do, because
Ugh.
otherwise, what
Just
will be the point?
something to
It's
make
gonna
me
be something that's
sad.
fun.
Well, it's definitely going to be fun. We all like Toy Story, right?
Yeah.
Toy Story 1, 2, 3, 4.
Eh,
But here we
meh.
go. What's coming out June 19th
I'm
is Toy
excited.
Story 5. And what better singer could they have gotten to come up with a song for the soundtrack of Toy Story 5? Well, that would be Taylor Swift with I
Ah.
Knew It, I Knew Ya. And I listened to it a few times. I think it's a very catchy song. It's like kind of old school of hers. You know what I like about it the most is it's it kind of fits the whole Toy Story themes, like as in like like the general kind of music. Randy Newman, right, is the one
Yep.
to be singing,
Yeah.
and it kind of fits right in with that. It's just like an easy listen, like an emotional listen even. And so it's a song by like I said, Taylor Swift, and it came out June 5th, 2026. It features 11 instruments, including banjo, mandolin, saxophone, harmonica, and strings. And it is written out of the perspective of Jessie, who is the cowgirl. I mean, we all know Toy Story. We all love Toy Story. Jessie the cowgirl. Um, I don't know how excited everybody was for Toy Story 5 because of what happened with Toy Story 4. It wasn't a bad movie. It wasn't a bad movie, but 3 had such a great ending. And I don't know about the fork, the spork, whatever it was. I never thought that was kind of
Forky.
really, didn't really
Sporky.
get me. I know maybe kids liked it. But I think with having her involved in this, I think it helps it. You have the whole cast coming back, and I like the song. You guys listen to it?
No.
Nope.
Give it
Didn't
a
even know
try.
the song was
No
out
way
yet.
no way you dislike it. No way.
I did know that it existed, and I figured, oh, I'll hear it during the credits of the movie or something, because that's where they'll put
Well,
it.
they're playing it pretty. If you listen to I can't think of which it is on Sirius XM, the channel that everybody listens to. It's on there constantly, but I know you guys aren't huge country guys, so
I
um,
mean, I've never had satellite radio ever.
it's time to grow
Uh,
up, Matt. It's time to grow up. All right, welcome yourself to the
I
Do
mean,
you
21st
listen
century.
to
I listen to way more music than the average person, so it's not
I
do you
know, but it's
listen to
such a
radio at
great
all?
tool.
it's not the method that's the problem. Anyways, I like how you described her song as I think you said easy listening.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean that's her whole fucking existence. She's
It's
not
just
thought of
it's
as
a
this
little bit it's a little bit of
not
a
thought of as
throwback.
this complex, elaborate songwriter.
It's simple. It's simple. It's a simple song. I
Yes,
don't like Randy Newman. That's simple, right? Would you know what I
it's a
mean by
simple
that?
song, right? But it's not like okay, so you know, if if Freddie Mercury had written a simple song, I might think, oh, that's out of character. But it's in character for Taylor Swift.
It seems like something she could have written in about a half hour, but she's so talented, it was great.
Okay,
Anyways,
gonna
shut up,
I'm
Matt.
gonna edit that out.
Oh no, we don't
All
edit.
right. That brings
All
you
right,
didn't hear
fine.
it. You haven't heard it, Bryant?
No,
What's
I have
something
not.
that
I didn't realize they had a song released for it yet,
Yeah.
honestly.
Well, June 5th. I mean, that's only as we record this 5 days ago.
Yeah,
Anyway,
it's
you're
true.
up.
As mentioned last week, Sue and I just went on a trip. We went out to Manitou Springs, and Sue mentioned that she didn't like my music choices, so I decided to torture her by making her listen to the radio while we drove. So while we're listening to the radio, this song comes on. Never heard it before. And naturally, you're, out in the West Coast, out on the West Coast, Jesus, out in the mountains, you hear different music and stuff like that. And this song kept coming on a lot. And I don't know if you guys ever heard of Kurt Vile.
No.
I know the name, but it's not music that I listen to.
Yeah. The song that kept being played on the radio consistently was a song called Another Good Year for the Roses. What is the song? It's nothing but him just singing Another Good Year for the Roses, just consistently. But the beats, the guitar, everything about it it's so soothing that I don't know what made it that way, but it was just so soothing to both Sue and I that we would hear it and it would just kind of like calm us down, mellow us out a little bit. And I don't know what, again, there's literally nothing to the song other than him singing It's Another Good Year for the Roses. But it's just the beat alone got to both of us that we enjoyed it, and we enjoyed listening to it multiple times on our trip.
Nothing wrong with that, man. Find
Yeah,
a song and it's going to remind you of that your whole rest of your life.
exactly.
So the radio kept repeating it.
Well, it's not like it would just play constantly, but like it felt like every time we got in the car, it was playing.
It was meant to be.
Yeah.
Is
Matt
it a
doesn't buy
new,
any of this stuff. He doesn't
No.
believe in
Well, he
this.
doesn't
is
know
it a
what
new
radio means.
is it a new song? Man, all right, is this guy even alive
I
still?
have no idea. Nowhere
I'm
for
gonna
the
get
idea.
yelled at. I don't
Probably.
Well, I think we need maybe an egg whites for next week about it.
Yes.
Nah.
Yeah,
Matt's
he says that,
he's
but he
not
doesn't
worth.
mean it. He
Yeah.
will look into it.
He's gonna look into it for sure.
All right, very good, guys. Which brings us to the omelet, which is this week is my likes, my dislikes, my observations, all wrapped up in one.
I'm excited.
I don't know how excited I am, but let's just go through these one at a time, huh? Shall we? Whistling. I've stated in the past that I don't like whistling. I'm not a very good whistler myself, but there's more to it than that. People don't whistle just to listen to themselves whistle. They're whistling, there's a purpose in mind, and that purpose is to be obnoxious. So, like, when you see somebody coming towards you and whistling, they're distracting themselves with the whistling because they're coming to you with something they don't want to tell you or be obnoxious. No one's just whistling because they enjoy it. No, it comes with a purpose and it comes with a lot of obnoxious. I dare you all, and you folks at home, to listen to really pay attention to the next person you see whistling and see if he's just someone that is enjoying a song or he's got something else on his mind or she.
I'll whistle while I'm at work to a song. I will admit that.
Yeah, see, I haven't seen that in person, so I don't know what I can believe.
Mhm.
Matt, what about you with the
There's
whistling?
a lot of parts to this. My wife is an excellent whistler.
What is
But I'm
that?
not, and I think I'm pretty good too, but she's better. But I'm not allowed to whistle because we both find it very irritating, just the sound, the pitch.
Yeah.
And God forbid I do it in the car in a closed environment where it might ricochet around. I'm in trouble.
I really love that there was like I feel like there should be a whistling competition between the two of you because you just said how excellent of a whistler she is.
She is. That like text tone. It kind of sounds like R2D2.
Of course I do.
She does that like you'd think it's your phone making the sound.
Next time we're in Princeton, maybe we can all, listen to some of this. All right. Okay, so I am not a big fan of flies. Every time you have a fly in your house, right? It's like, I mean, how long is this guy going to stick around? But I don't know if it's one of the most annoying, I would say one of the most annoying insects there are, next to the cricket. And I don't mean cricket outside. I mean cricket inside. What do you do with that guy? How do you get rid of him? It's awful.
Can't even see him.
It's almost torture. Yeah.
It is
Hate
torture.
hate the cricket. Just I like the sound of crickets outside and like, but I'm willing to get rid of that just in case I might have one in my house ever again.
I'm also going to say this. You said you're not a fan of flies. Who is a fan of flies?
Yeah, right. I was gonna say
I
that
like the
too.
movie The Fly. The movie The Fly was pretty good with Jeff Goldblum.
Did you see the sequel?
Yeah, that was okay.
Was not expecting an answer.
Well, I have seen it, and it had a happier ending.
That's true. It did.
Spoiler alert.
Uh, what is it, 38 years old?
You're not gonna watch it.
No, I've seen the first one. I have not seen the second one.
So I've been seeing this at the gym lately. People set up their cameras and everything like that and work out in front of it, and they are live streaming.
Oh,
This is extremely distracting.
that should
And they
not
don't want
be.
me in the shot,
That
but
should not be allowed.
I need to walk by.
That should
I'm
not be allowed.
I guess I'm in one of these gyms where it's a non-confrontational gym. I mean, people do approach me and ask for my autograph, and of course there's Cheryl. But other than that, it's pretty easy going. But yeah, I don't like that at all. Come on. I mean, what competition? Look, I've seen these people.
I have safety concerns.
I see these people too. I really don't think they should be filming themselves. They're okay at best.
I have
At
safety
best.
and privacy concerns.
This might be controversial. And I don't know when the last time you guys saw Meet the Parents. But Pam, his girlfriend and later fiance of Ben Stiller, might be the true heel of the show, of the movie. And I'm going to give you my reasons.
Can't wait.
She lets her dad know how much Greg is his name in the movie, hates cats, knowing that her father loves cats. She doesn't wake him up in the morning, that early morning, and he comes down in his pajamas and the whole family's there having breakfast and embarrassing him. She could have got him up early. She didn't tell her dad that they were living together. And she also lied to him about him being in the CIA. And finally, she kind of took her dad's side on just about everything. Pam is the true heel of that. Greg was put in a position to fail.
Didn't she not know he was in the CIA?
No, she knew.
No, she knew.
She knew.
Yeah.
You're not wrong, but I view that as it just not being a well-written movie. I do not like those movies.
Really, I like the first one.
The first one's good.
I don't like that type of humor. I mean, you just described it. It's like
Some uncomfortableness. Yeah.
It's like a false premise that makes for uncomfortable humor. I think Ben Stiller has done plenty of really funny things. I don't think those are it.
I think his best part right now is sitting next to Timothy Chalamet.
Yeah.
All right, let's move on. Oh, God, I sound like you, Matt. I used to call tissues Kleenex exclusively, but now I don't, and I don't even buy that brand. Also, I will never call Jell-O gelatin. It's going to be Jell-O, and I really don't care.
Yeah, I mean, I never called it Kleenex. I don't know why anybody would.
I think it's just what was my area. Like you calling everything Coke, Bryant, right?
I don't call everything Coke.
Well, you call everything aspirin. You
I
call
call
everything aspirin.
Aspirin. I do. Yeah, it's aspirin. Yeah.
Kleenex is the one that makes the least amount of sense because the other words sound like the base word. Jello sounds like gelatin. Band-Aid sounds like Band-Aid.
But Jello also makes pudding pops.
Bandage.
Jello makes other things, but when I say Jello,
Kleenex doesn't sound like tissue, so that's.
But that's how I was raised. I know it's weird. I don't do it now. I'm out on it. I don't like the name Clark, Matt, at all. Nor do I like a Clark bar.
No one likes a Clark
but
bar.
I've never had a Clark bar.
But I am a fan of Superman, and he was Clark Kent.
Yeah, it was Clark.
So these
Yeah,
are just some things that I
but
was
you don't
thinking
refer to him as Clark Kent. You refer to him as Superman.
Well, I refer to him as Clark Kent when he's working for the Gazette.
Daily Globe. Yeah.
Oh man, I blew it.
Bugle?
It was one of them. Definitely one of them.
Bueller?
I don't like this run-of-the-mill artwork that's on walls everywhere. I like this. It's almost like elevator music for the wall.
That's what it is.
It's terrible. Can we have a little more original, like diversified something? I mean, I have this pond that's in my office, and like there's some trees. Boring. I'm bored with it. And I've been looking. I looked at it all day today.
I was at a hotel recently, and they had a lot of mirrors in the long hallways, but like half the mirror was like an art design. And every time I walked by, it was like, I'm pretty sure everybody would appreciate just a full mirror there instead.
Yeah, exactly right. I had a dream the other night that I performed an exorcism.
Sounds awesome.
I wasn't successful. I woke up before I was done.
Ah,
I know. So this is something that you guys are going to disagree with me on, but it's not just streaming services, but it might just be your YouTube TV or anything. And it tells you if you're still watching something. Why don't you mind your own fucking business? Okay. I'm pretty happy deciding when and when not to turn my television off or on or change the channel. I
They
don't
don't want
need
to
you
waste.
thinking for me.
They don't want to waste the bandwidth if you're not watching.
They don't get to make that choice. I pay the same either way. I will decide when I'm going to watch my 15th
No,
episode of Seinfeld or 16th episode of Seinfeld. That's my choice.
waste not, want not. Is that the appropriate expression? I don't know.
They just need to mind their business. Currently growing a sunflower in the garden,
Ooh,
Nice.
and nothing else is growing very well so far this year. We haven't had much rain in the last month. Now we are a little bit, but the sunflower is growing quite well, and it's going to have one of those big sunflower faces. So
nice.
I like that. Had a
I'd like a
FedEx guy.
I'd like a picture of that at some point.
Okay.
Yeah.
Had a FedEx guy. It was about probably time of closing time for him. I mean, or calling it for the night. He delivered a package the other day. He had a tank top or wife beater on and a backwards hat. FedEx has really gone downhill, hasn't it? I mean, there weren't there rules of like a brown uniform, or is that UPS? Whatever the case is, but whatever the case is, they need to do better. I run by so I have a sometimes I run this way when I'm going on my daily run or every other daily run. And I sometimes go out into the street area and like around a plaza, like a little strip mall kind of thing. And it's early in the morning, so nothing's open. But in the window, it's a State Farm window. There is Jake from State Farm, and it's a big cardboard cutout. And every day I'm there, I run by him, I wave to him. Every single day, I wave to him, and I don't know why, but I do. Since I turned 50, I decided to watch a lot of golf, and I am enjoying it.
Golf is great, isn't it?
Yeah, I didn't used to think so, but I am enjoying it. I've been watching a lot of it.
It's
Uh,
great. I watch it. I watch so much of it too. So
yeah, yeah, it's something new. So we watched, we have a podcast that we listen to, or we used to listen to, called Something to Wrestle With, and it was always called STW. Well, why the hell isn't it called STWW? Something to Wrestle With. I don't
that's
understand.
great.
Bruce always argued that it was called something to wrestle.
Yeah, but he was wrong. Mad Men. Started watching Mad Men. I'm about 5 episodes, 6 episodes in. It makes me want to start smoking again. Man, there's a
No,
lot
no
of smoking in
filters.
that episode. A lot of smoking in those
No
episodes.
filters, right?
Yeah, it looks good.
Lucky strikes.
Isn't that crazy? Straight tar.
Straight tar in the office.
I'm enjoying that, by the way. I know what you told me about it being dull. It's good, but like maybe nothing ever happens. But I'm enjoying the conversations.
I did like it. It just
Yeah.
wasn't like I wasn't running to people to tell them they should go watch it.
I'm currently watching 3 shows with John Hamm in it. That is one of them. I'm watching Your Friends and Neighbors, which I'm almost finished with, and then I just started Landman. So,
Oh, Landman is good.
and he's in
Landman is
that
very
too.
good.
Like I mean, my wife's kind of in love with him, and I throw her a bone once in a while, right? I mean, there's plenty of women in these shows too. So my favorite steak is people argue with me all the time, but my favorite steak is filet mignon, and I'm gonna tell you why. It's consistent, it's delicious. I know that people like ribeye, and I like ribeye, but I think there's too much fat in ribeye, and T-bone's a little too difficult for me. I love a filet mignon. Maybe it is for children, but I love it.
No, I love a fillet, and I don't like all the fat on the ribeye.
Yeah. What about you, Bryant?
I see. I'm weird in that I will do like I'll take the fat on the ribeye. I'm good with that, but like medium well for me. I'm weird. I know.
I am so sorry I brought it up.
You're welcome.
We'll edit that out.
No,
I don't like people that say cutie patootie.
Who the fuck are you around that says that?
Obnoxious girls.
Duty.
No guys are saying it, I'll tell you that. Cutie patooties. That's terrible. Shut up. Say something else. Say he's hot. God. Ragu meat sauce. It's just not my thing. It comes up here and there, and everybody's excited. I'm not excited. Just give me the regular stuff. How about a meatball? Meat sauce. Hell out of here. All right. So dogs marking their territory outside to me is like me using 3 toilets in the house for the same situation. Like I'm gonna go and I'm gonna pee in 3 toilets in the same 2 minutes. Get the hell out of here. Get it done and get inside.
Dogs are fucking stupid. We've covered this.
A movie should follow the book mostly. I don't like this loosely based bullshit. So all right. So I told you I was gonna come back to this. Recently read Stepford Wives, and so I talked my wife into watching, which isn't a hard talking into because it's a lot of good people in it. It's a 2004 Stepford Wives, starring Nicole Kidman. It was so far off, like so far off. The ending's different. Everything is different. Ira Levin is rolling up. Well, he was 3 years before he died, but he must have been so disappointed in seeing something like this. Everything in the book is so subtle, and it comes to your own imagination of what you think really is happening. In the book, they're flat out telling you this is what it is. Hey, it's just terrible. So, and I'm not one of these guys that says everything has to be exact, but it should follow. It should follow a basic outline. Anyway,
Well,
do not recommend. Do not recommend the movie.
we've talked about both of these things before, but the Jurassic Park movie and Forrest Gump movie are not like the book. And look at the wonderful movies they are.
Yes, but Stepford Wives is not. I would not call that a good movie. Neither would Rotten Tomatoes. So there's been a lot. Like you were talking about AI earlier, I do like this about AI. They're doing like as a cartoon, like Jimmy Neutron, right? And then you'll see that they're introducing the cast to the live action Jimmy Neutron, and then they have all these great actors, which half of them are always Margot Robbie. Like you see like a lot of the same people in it. I think it's funny. I actually think that's pretty funny. And as soon as you watch one, by the way, there's plenty more to come because you're in the algorithm.
Yeah.
People that shuck corn in the store need to stop showing off. Okay, take your corn home, shuck it in front of your own garbage can. Get the hell out of my way. I'm so proud of you for being able to multitask. All right. Or are you just trying to stay in the store a little longer? Get the hell out of here. Go home and shuck your corn.
Why is this allowed?
I don't know it, but sometimes there's even availability to do it that they give them a place to do it. You're you're part of the problem now. I think they should outlaw toaster ovens. They take too long. I can make scrambled eggs in a pan longer than shorter time than it takes to toast 2 pieces of bread. So because of this, Sue has now purchased a regular toaster because me and Lotus, we couldn't handle it anymore. We need our toast done in under 2 minutes, not a 5 to 10 minute situation
I have a
here.
regular toaster.
You didn't
Well,
own
we did
a
not.
toaster?
We got rid of the regular toaster and got the toaster oven.
What a mistake.
Oh, huge mistake.
Terrible mistake.
And now I hate toaster ovens because of it.
As you should.
And finally, baseball assumptions. Someone gets thrown out at second base. Let's say a guy was on first, gets thrown out at second base, stealing. Now the guy hits a home run. Well, he would have had a 2-run home run if he would have been on, if he would have stayed on. No. Use your freaking head. The pitcher pitches differently when a man is on base than when he isn't. He is more aggressive to a batter when there's no one on base. Why? Because you can be. Because if you give up 1 run, you give up 1 run. You guys on base, you're doing different things. You're throwing over. You're pitching differently. It is not the same. Every situation in this world, it's called the butterfly effect. Nothing's the same. Nothing would be exact. Pisses me off. Hard boiled on that.
I agree very much.
And that is it. Those are some of Brad's assumptions.
I like it.
Or assumptions and problems and everything else.
And everything else.
Where are we at? I'm on the wrong outline now, guys. Woo-hoo-hoo! What is happening? Oh, found it.
There we go.
Which brings us to raw eggs, Bryant, which is anything the hell you want.
Anything I want, fantastic. So I'm listening to one of my favorite podcasts, as mentioned on the show here. It's called History That Doesn't Suck. And we're in the time frame of the 1920s. We're kind of going through some things, and we're also learning a little bit history of other things. And the most recent podcast I was listening to was talking about sports figures and sports and how they've evolved into the 1920s. And on this particular episode, we talked about boxing and like the history of boxing and like what was going on with this. And the professor mentioned one fight causing a change to all these boxing rules and regulations and doing all these things that, changed the sport. And I was like, well, now I'm intrigued. So there was a fight, April 6th, 1893, New Orleans, Louisiana. The fight is between Andy Bowen and Jack Burke. 2 light heavyweights battling for the championship, New Orleans. Big time fight, fighting for the championship of the world. The fight began late in the evening, but it would stretch into the early hours of the next morning. That's right, folks. 110 rounds 7 hours of fighting.
Oh my.
Neither man would quit. Neither man would go down. Neither man would give up because they wanted to be the light heavyweight champion of the world. The referee eventually called the fight a no contest. Why did he do that? Neither man could claim victory by knocking the other down. Also, through this, both men were fighting through obviously major blows, fatigue, dehydration. As I said, the fight lasts 7 hours. Eventually, Jack Burke had broken both of his hands and could no longer continue anyway, but still continued to fight with both hands broken because he didn't want to lose. As I said, the referee eventually calls it a no contest, and the event was so extreme that it is what brought in the Boxing Commission. I use air quotes because there's several different versions of the Boxing Commission, setting up specific rounds, time limits to these rounds, how long the fights can go, things of that nature. And in the end, both men were fighting for a purse of $2,500, which in
Big money
1893,
then.
that's big money, folks.
Big money.
With inflation, it comes out to about $90,000 per fighter now. But yeah, an interesting fact, an interesting story. And again, I'm not really a boxing guy, but to hear this story and hear the evolution and hear what started it, just something's completely interesting to me.
So, did you preface this by saying this is a brown egg and not a raw egg?
Well, it's anything I want. So.
Yeah, but he made a brown egg because it's a less talked about moment for sure.
Oh,
just
okay,
want to let you
sure.
know it is anything you want, but at least
yeah.
I'm just.
What are you doing?
It's a less talked about moment, guys.
I don't even know if it's less talked about. I don't know if anybody knows it.
Did you give me the names of the people?
Yeah, I will give them again. It is Andy Bowen and Jack Burke.
I wonder how the brain damage was at the end of this thing.
Probably very bad. Again, you go for 7 hours and it's 100 and just punching each other consistently.
I mean, what kind of effort were they putting forth after the
probably not.
Well, and as I mentioned, Burke eventually breaks both his hands, so it's not like he's throwing haymakers there by the end. So,
Mason the Lion Dixon broke his hand in Rocky Balboa, but then it numbed up, and then he could throw it hard. So
and maybe that happened.
I don't know if that's a real thing. Okay, that was a movie.
But again, even if that happened, he still didn't knock Bowen down. Didn't knock him out. Didn't help.
Right.
So there you go. I guess brown egg.
I mean, I appreciate the Boxing Commission. So, I remember when I was a kid, it was like 15 rounds when I first started watching.
Yeah.
And then they changed for a championship fight. I'm talking about like the big ones.
Yeah.
Like, when I was a kid, Larry Holmes was champion. And then it turned to 12 rounds. And now I don't even know. But
well, it was they went down in rounds because boxers were getting injured.
Well, it's just for like anything, like with professional football. In regular season, they only go one overtime. And why? Not because they don't want a winner or loser, but because these guys are freaking out there for too long.
Yeah.
You got to protect them.
We'll keep adding games to the season.
Yeah, I don't agree with that either. They say they take away a preseason game. What does that matter? They don't play in them anyway.
It's true.
Yeah.
All right, well, very good. Which brings us to hankering eggs, which is something we want to do, right? We have a hankering for.
Things you wish you could do.
Yeah. So, Matt.
It's not like the ship has sailed forever on life for me for this, but I kind of wish I knew sign language. So I reference my wife Sue and her skills. She used to study sign language, so she kind of knows it a little bit. And I think it's very interesting. And there's just been times when, on TV or out in life, you experience people communicating with sign language. And I just feel like that would be like a neat extra little skill to have, So I kind of wish that I knew sign language.
It's funny because we watched DTF St. Louis, and there's a lot of sign language in that movie or in that show, and that's a really big part of the show too. And he did it later in life, so
right.
Maybe call David Harbour, see where he learned, and maybe we can start something here.
Yeah, there's that. There was a Best Picture a couple years ago. The movie Coda was about a family that spoke sign language or signed. Interesting stuff. One more little thing here. When I was a kid, I always wanted to invent something. Like I wish I had invented something. Here's some of my ideas from when I was a kid. And I think they are kind of like ideas that exist now because of technology. But I remember being in the car as a kid and I'm like, why can't the windshield wipers just like know on their own like when to turn on and how fast to be going? And I'm pretty sure high-end cars can do that on their own. Brad, I'm sure you know.
Um, it's funny because my heated seat will turn on when it's a certain temperature in those in
Oh,
the Cadillac, but the
yeah.
wipers, no, no.
You would think they could come up with something
Yeah,
there.
I think you
Yeah,
have
there
something
could be a
there.
manual override.
Yeah, absolutely. There's a manual override with the seat heating.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And also I always thought, you're always fussing with getting the shower temperature right. I always thought that you should be able to like pre-program like, hey, Matt's going in, press the Matt button and it just knows what temperature you want the water at. Oh, now Sue's going in, and she could press the Sue button and now it goes to her preset temperature. Well, that doesn't sound too hard.
No, it doesn't.
Who's got my
No,
investment capital?
no one.
I might know a guy. Very good.
I know who you mean. All right.
Very, very good, Matt. So my hankering's about it's about living, right? Like where to live. When I was a kid, my dream, actual dream, was to live in the heart of Manhattan. I wanted to be like a corporate attorney. I wanted to live the fast life. I wanted no lawn. I wanted to live in like a top apartment and anything like that. And I never, I guess, pushed myself to do that. But my best friend from high school did do that. Now, I mean, not success to where I'm talking about he has a good job and he lives in a nice apartment, but I always really wanted to live in New York City and that would be my life. Um, on the other end of it, I always wanted to live in like one of these big farmhouses too, in the middle of nowhere. And it's like, I see I see it in movies or I read them in books and I'm like, man, it looks just great to live like that. And here I am in this, like 20 minutes outside Philly. I'm like, boy, I really blew it in both ways here.
I
I
I
don't
get
have the
it.
farmhouse dream, that's for sure.
I don't know if it's farmhouse, but like on your own, middle of nowhere kind of house. Is that what you're talking about? Kind of thing.
And just a big, big, big farmhouse. But I had too many rooms and too many rooms to clean. But it's all the hardwood floor and the windows open with no screens. And the fly comes in and I
Ah,
swat that son of a bitch and I freaking, you know what? I'm out. The crickets and the flies, I'm out.
you're out.
You know what? Just New York. The beeping of the horns at night, I could sleep to that. I know I could. That's me. That was a dream. Didn't work out. But Bryant,
I had a dream when I was younger because I thought motorcycles were the coolest thing ever. I always wanted to own one. That was how I was going to drive everywhere. Never own a car. I was just going to own a motorcycle. I was going to drive a motorcycle everywhere. I was going to live that life, be the motorcycle guy. I didn't want to be in a gang, didn't have to be affiliated with anybody. I just wanted to be on my own, ride, live the life. And as I got older and I got the chance to drive, it just kind of went away. And I don't know why, but it always just kind of sat there. And it's still like, even now sitting here, I'd still like to own one, still like to drive one. But I also live in the world of, I don't know if I have the best coordination for it to know that my luck would be I would fall a lot. I don't know me, but I don't know. But that's always been a dream. That's always been something I've wanted is a motorcycle. Now, would I get one now and just make it sit in my garage and never drive it? Probably because I'd be paranoid about it. But it's always been a dream. I don't know why, but I always thought my motorcycles would be cool.
yeah. It's funny. I love that you said you didn't want to be in a gang. I really think that is a big, like, I don't think that's true of 95% of anything. I think
No,
most of them are dorks like us. That's just their hobby. You know what I
but
mean?
but if you notice, a lot of people when they ride in groups,
Yeah,
and I don't
sure.
want to. Or like there's people with the vest and all that stuff, and I'm like, I don't want any part of that. I just want to be me by myself riding.
What kind of
And
motorcycle? Would you be looking Harley Davidson or something else?
Harley Davidson, yeah,
Hmm. Yeah, I love the way they look. I've never really
yes,
been interested in riding them, but I love looking at them and like even like coming out of the gym or just walking around the dogs around the neighborhood. I always stop and look because they're always impressive. But I've been to too many beef and beers and too many fundraisers for people that have had accidents and died or had terrible
hmm
accidents. And you know, as much as it's a badass guy that rides it, maybe, and that's a big thing with, I'm out.
See, and that was the thing with Nebraska was it was a state that required you to wear a helmet. So like there were wrecks, but there was never any real injuries. But we just recently repealed that law because naturally to the north of us is South Dakota, where the Sturgis Rally is in August. And they want to capitalize on that traffic, get the bikers to drive through. But all the bikers would avoid coming here because they didn't want to wear a helmet. So we've seen a lot more accidents now, and I think that's what makes me a little more hesitant.
Matt, what do you got?
How could you not want to wear a helmet? I
Yeah,
don't even like seeing a kid riding his bike in the neighborhood without a helmet.
right.
I mean, it is
Mhm.
very easy to get a head injury that changes your.
Yep.
So valid dream here, wish, Bryant, but I'm very anti-motorcycle. I know it's not everybody, but I don't like how they drive on the highways. Weaving in and out, doing, trying to cut through traffic or whatever it is. They're too loud. I don't like that. And so at some point in their careers, my wife's parents, both of them worked in the medical field somewhere, and they would tell us that the nickname that medical professionals have for motorcyclists is donors.
Mm. Yep.
Yeah. I had
Makes
an
sense.
interview. 2019, I interviewed at a local Harley Davidson. He found me on Indeed, and I went in for the interview. And I had so much respect for the guy that was owning the place, though. He kind of describes me in a whole different way. And I actually went to 3 interviews, and I almost took that job. I almost took that job because of him. But I'm glad I didn't, because right after that, after COVID, he sold it, and it is not the same.
Mm.
Anyway, he just kind of described it to me as like I would never recommend one of my customers to ride their motorcycle to work every day. He goes, you know why? I go, why? He goes, because I don't even know how I got here today. Do you remember driving to work? I said, no. He goes, that's what I'm talking about. You're not paying attention. You're just driving to work, or you're riding to work, or driving to work. He goes, I like going on the trips in a big group. We're all surrounded with each other. He's like the wind in your hair. He goes, that's what it's about for me. And you're concentrating on what you're doing. I
Right.
was so impressed with the guy. I really was. But
Yeah.
that's a story for another day. But
He was grooming you to buy the business, clearly.
he, yeah, I thought about it. I'm glad I didn't do it because he left. Anyway, that's going to do it for us this week. So I hope everybody enjoyed the show. And Matt, why don't you go ahead and hit us with the socials?
Well, we are three car drivers are better than one, cooking up every Monday morning at 6:30 a.m. Eastern on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, and everywhere else you get your podcasts. Find us on YouTube at Three Eggs Are Better Than One, the number three, the letter R, the number one. Like, subscribe, and comment. Follow us on X, Blue Sky, Instagram, and TikTok at Three Eggs Are Better, the number three, the letter R. And our individual accounts at YesManBrad, at P. Remza, and I am at Purple Shirt Guy Without the Eye. Apologies to Bo, where we ran out of time. Bryant, what do you have for us next week?
So I have a couple ideas, and I've been debating which one I want to go for. But after last week and kind of a little bit with my, I guess now brown egg, we're going to talk sports. We're going to talk records. Now, last week, Brad told the great story about Paul Molitor, but we know the big records. We know the good records. We know the ones everybody chases. But what are the infamous records? What are those records that nobody wants, but you just get because you're either that terrible or something bad just happens? We're going to talk bad records next week. So if my fellow eggs know any, this would be a perfect time for it. So,
I definitely don't.
well, don't worry, I have plenty. So, but on that note, we thank you guys for joining us. We hope you enjoyed the chat. Brad's observations, hard boiled. Matt's always got stuff going on and what we always think is going to be sunny side up, but we never know. So, but on that note, guys, the egg timer's been set. We'll see you guys next week.